Hi everyone, welcome to my table. Today I'm sharing a very traditional recipe for Fen Zheng Rou, a celebrated dish, but it's not very well known outside of China. Although I think it should be because this is the most delicious way to enjoy fatty pork belly. Watch on to find out why. For an authentic Fen Zheng Rou, you will need to get an array of Chinese seasonings, most of which we've used in various other dishes. But there are a couple of special items that are specific to this dish. We'll get into that a little bit later. First, let's talk about the meat. The classic cut for this dish is the pork belly, with its alternate layers of lean meat and fat. This is perfect because the richness of the fatty meat is a wonderful companion to the lean parts. The flavors of the seasonings cling onto each piece, and the long steaming process makes the fatty meat literally melt in your mouth soft. Cut the meat across the layer so that each bite-sized morsel has equal layerings of lean and fat, along with a bit of skin. Then finely chop some ginger and put them together in a bowl. Now to season the meat. Many you're probably already familiar with, but as mentioned before, there are a couple of specific things to get. One is the fermented bean curd or tofu roux. It's a preserved tofu that's often found in jars surrounded by spicy or non-spicy brine. It has a strong pungent flavor and the texture of soft, creamy cheese. Next thing is the rice powder, that is the namesake of this dish. I'm using a store-bought brand that is basically coarsely ground toasted rice with added 5-spice seasoning. Now to the sliced pork and chopped ginger. Add salt, light and dark soy sauce, Chinese cooking wine, oyster sauce, fermented broad bean chili paste. Don't worry, this won't make it too spicy. And finally, if using the fermented bean curd. Mix it up really well. And add the rice powder. I use a couple of packages for this amount of meat. Mix again and make sure that each piece of the meat is well coated with the powder. And very often under the meat there is a layer of root vegetables. These are some of the best tasting vegetables because the fatty oil seeps down and flavors them. Today I'm using 2 different types of sweet potatoes. Let's put it all together. To cook, I'm using my bamboo steamer lined with a muslin or cheesecloth. You can also just use a large bowl that fit into your steamer. Cut up the sweet potatoes into large chunks. Not too small because otherwise they'll melt into nothing after steaming. Spread the potatoes onto the steamer in a single layer. Then top with the seasoned meat, placing the slices evenly across the surface so it will cook faster and more even. Now close the lid tight and put it on to steam on high heat for 1 to 1.5 hours, depending on how soft you like your meat. Be sure to check on the water levels during cooking as you might need to replenish. And there you have it, a delicious, traditional Sichuan version of Fen Zheng Rou. This steamed pork belly with rice powder is cooked until ultra tender. The savory flavors and the seasonings are wrapped around each piece of meat with the help of the rice powder. Put a piece in your mouth and the whole thing will disintegrate without much resistance. The rice powder adds a lovely slipperiness that complements the soft meat, and the same goes for the sweet potatoes underneath. This dish with some freshly steamed white rice is my ultimate comfort meal and favorite way of eating pork belly. Try it and I'm sure it will be yours too. As always, go to Yan's Family Table for the full written recipe. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more recipes like this. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.